just stand by for...
G'day folks, not sure if anyone can actually hear me or not because I've got a stream running and I can't see it. So hopefully it's working because I've got nothing at the moment. Ooh, that's looking better. Maybe it's actually starting to work and I'm not dropping any frames. And I know I've dropped all my viewers, but that's okay. Okay then, I have no viewers and before I had about 20, so oh well, life is just like that, isn't it? Maybe some of you will come back and maybe you won't. I am going to go back to what I was starting to show people and I am now recording, so I will pop this up when I get a chance to later this evening for those of you who miss out. Aha, Blue Moon Nights is watching. That's nice. Alright then, that's one. Anyway, we are looking at Train Sim World 2 New Journeys, and as a Dovetail ambassador, I've been allowed to stream this earlier than the release. So, cool. Someone else has come back. Welcome to whoever you are. So, we have got New Journeys, and that changes the 3 original routes that come with the game. Sandpatch Grade, Colonarchan, or Snellfast Trek Colne, and London Underground Bakerloo. In Snellfast Trek Coal, we get a new timetable. The old one's still there if you want it, if you want to finish your journeys and stuff, so that's cool. And I'm so glad I'm not dropping frames anymore. I just wish I had some viewers. We get a brand new timetable in Colnarchan. It's got 267 services, which is quite an amazing change to the old one. It's going to feel nice and busy now. You also get in this one a new train. I should have stayed in there, really. We get the DB423. Now, this has come over from another route, but it's been reworked for this one, so it's a little bit different, and we'll drive that one shortly. Glad to see people gradually trickling back in. That's cool. Thank you very much. Next up, we'll have a quick look at... We'll come back and drive some things shortly, but we'll just have a quick look at the changes in the other routes. Let's have a look at Bakerloo. Now, in Bakerloo, the timetable has been adjusted, but I don't think it really has more services. I think it's about the same. But what you do get is this lovely new brushed aluminium stock with the red doors and a nice black roof. Now, it's the exact same train. It drives the same way. So we will drive this one, but we'll drive it a bit later. There are some new things. So the timetable's had some adjustments to make it work better. There's also startup delays now, like the newer routes, which is awesome. And there are rail fans with cameras in some of the stations, which is also pretty amazing. There are three new scenarios in this one: Test Run, Rail Tour, and Underground Return Ticket. Now, you definitely see the rail fans on Rail Tour, maybe on the others. Oh, I forgot to mention that on Colnarchan, you get Reverse Charge, Snowblind, and Duran Duran, so you get 3 new scenarios for the 423. Now, let's pop over to Sandpatch. Over on Sandpatch, which is the one we're going to drive first this evening, we get an adjusted timetable, but to me it doesn't seem to have a lot more services, but most importantly, you get a new locomotive. So you get the SD40 CSX S for Stripey. Now, this has come over from Clinchfield, but it's been modified. It's got a new horn, it's got a little bit of new sound as far as I can tell. And it's certainly got a new livery, and we'll be driving this one first tonight. It has some new scenarios: Stripey Rescue, Earning Your Stripes, and Stars and Stripes. Of course, they're all a play on the fact that it's the CSX S for Stripe. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to jump into this one, and we're going to do some switching. So we're going to go and do a service, because I'll leave you to find the scenarios yourself. And the one I want to do is 113, the switching continues. Just to give you a bit of an idea of what this train's like. Now, it's a little bit different to the other SD40s that we've had on the route. Good to see someone else has popped back in too. Welcome. We're just starting out on the CSX. Let's have a look outside. So the livery is quite strikingly different to the other ones. And I think it's quite an attractive one. Most importantly, it's got a nice horn. Yes, S really is for Stripey Blue Moon Nights 37. Anyway, let's jump back into the cab and let's put our cab light on so we can see what's going on in here. This is a little bit different to the other GP40s. Now let me just get the brakes set up so that we can start pumping up brakes. Not that I even looked to see if we're actually on a train or not out there. Are we on a train? No, so we haven't got much of a brake pump up time at all. Let's engine run and control and fuel pump on. Yeah, to my mind, those switches should have been on already because the diesel wouldn't be running without them, but that's okay. Generator field so we can move, and we'll pop the reverser in and over to forwards. I will use rail for tonight, but I'm just setting up with the mouse. Let's put on our step lights and our gauge lights. Now, with this one, for sandpatch grade, you've got big trains. She's watching me again. Sandtrack train, you've got the big grade, so you need banking com. So banking com's on the old radio up here. It's just this little button. And they've also put contact signaler up on here for when the times you need to do it. Do you get the impression we're rolling away? We are rolling away, but that's okay. Let's just put a little bit of independent on. In the cupboard, we want to turn on the alerter. There's not much in the way of safety systems on this one, just the alerter. And let's get the window open so you can hear what it sounds like. Apologies for the false start for the people who were here before. But we have to head 463 yards down there. Let's just check our points and make sure they're set for where we want to go. And of course they're not, because it's sandpatch grade and they never are. So we're going to go down there and get some carriages. All right, so we've got 2 locomotives, so we need to set our selector lever to 2. If you want to use dynamic braking with your throttle in idle, you put it back to off, wait a few moments, and then put it into B for braking, and you'll see some amps start to build up, or you would if we were moving, but we're not. And then you can use it as dynamic braking. But we want to move forwards now, so let's go and do that. The brakes on this one are a touch funny too if you're used to using the rail driver. If you're using the controller or keyboard, expect total normalcy. But it's a bit twitchy on the rail driver. Glad to see some people trickling back in. Welcome. My apologies for the false starts. I ended up having to reboot my router to get a decent uplink speed. I was only getting 2 meg per second going out. I'm now back up to my usual 28, so I'm happy. And I now know that I should do that before a stream. I've never had to before, but did today. The throttle is super twitchy when you're using the rail driver, to the point that I find myself using the controller sometimes. Now, one thing to watch with this locomotive, and I think it just did it to us, is sometimes it pops the PCS open when you couple up, which is kind of annoying. So throttle back to idle, which you sometimes have to do with the mouse because the rail driver doesn't quite put it to idle. There we go. And then a service suppression brake. And we just have to wait for the PCS to close again. Come on. No, not emergency. Now we just have to wait, unfortunately. We need this light to go out. So I have found this happens when you couple up with this locomotive occasionally, so be prepared for it. And we're not getting a reset. We should be getting a reset. It's normally much quicker than this. Normally it happens absolutely immediately, but Murphy's Law would say that because I'm streaming, that's not going to happen. Ah, sigh. It's going to be my night tonight, isn't it? This is a good showing so far. Looks like something's happening. We've got our brake cylinders dropping. Yeah, maybe it's actually going to work. I'll just be patient. Even though it does normally happen almost immediately. Hopefully we'll start pumping back up. Looks like we are. So the brake pipe is pumping up, even though the light says PCS open. So maybe it's not open. Alright, let's release the brakes. Now, even though it says PCS open, I have a faint suspicion we're going to be able to move, because it's definitely pumping up the brake pipe quite happily. So let's see where we need to go. Back at where we came from, and up to there. So all of our points are set. Looks good. And I think I found a bug I need to report. Is it going to let me drive, though? That's a question. No, it's not. Of course it's not. Now, this is most unfortunate for the first play that we're getting this to happen. Because it doesn't look flash. I think I'm going to jump over to my next drive, which will be the BR423. We will give the SD40 another chance a little bit later in the stream, but I don't want to sit there waiting for that when it's misbehaving. It's just not worth our time, really. So, and I have taken off all the other things, so no surprise DLCs. We are going to drive the BR423 and we're going to run the scenario reverse charge. Just going to scenarios. So the three new scenarios that you get: Snowblind, reverse charge, and Durin. So let's get going, and I hope this one's a little more predictable. See how we go, huh? Me having a fight with PZB, this should be good. It's really funny with the SD42 because I've seen little issues with it during my test runs, but not one that I couldn't get out of like that one. So hopefully that's an unusual thing. So this S19 service is scheduled to run to Durin. However, reports have come in that the weather is really bad. All right then. Let us do some things. Let's turn on PZB and let's turn on CIFA. And release the parking brake. Reverse is already in and forward. Good. Passengers might like some lights, mightn't they? Headlights are already on. Fantastic. Let's get the doors open. And let's just get a little bit of brake on too so we don't roll while the doors are open, because that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Alright then. And what about some instrument lights? They're over here. So let's have a quick look outside while people are getting in. Of course, we end up on the roof. The train is very nicely modelled, and I have to say this is a nice one to drive too. It accelerates quite quickly. It doesn't brake nearly as quickly. It's actually quite a slow braker. So let's just jump back in here. I will have to pay attention in the cab because I'm running PZB. Let's put our wipers on to get rid of some of this snow as well. Hopefully they'll work. There they go. And German trains don't toot, I keep getting told, so we aren't going to. Away we go. I'll open the window just so you can hear it, even though it's snowing. We are in monitoring, so I have to be a little bit careful. Now, anybody who's watched me drive with PZB knows how well this usually goes, so prepare for giggles. It's a nice looking train. There's our seefer going off. This train doesn't talk, it just beeps at you. Hopefully I can just take us out of monitoring. I have. Good, with PZB free. This one's got the blue bubble, yellow bubble for acceleration in the HUD. Seefer again. I'm not going to bother going right to the end because this is such a short train. Alright. Let's go and have a look at our people getting in and out. It'll let me in there? Not quite. Come around this way. Alright, round we go, round we go. There we go. Now it'll stand on me. So the train is well liveried. The mark's very nice. The train operates really well. It's got some cool touches, which you'll see when I close the doors in a moment. You can see the green light in the vestibule above the doors there. When you close them, it starts flashing red, which is a cool touch. Alright, away we go. Maybe. Maybe. Why aren't I getting brakes coming off? I'm getting a bit sad because my brakes aren't releasing. Everything is turned on properly. Nothing is complaining at me. They just don't release. I suppose we've got doors open on the other side or something, have we? No? Let me just try and open them and close them again. Do you know I've actually never had this happen? I'm a bit sad. Anyone got any ideas? I am totally flummoxed. There we go. Rebooting a train's going to do it, I think. That's powering at least. And there go the brakes. Well, that was a bit weird. I can honestly say I've never had it do that before. Hello, Matt. No, I don't think I was. And of course, I've gone back into monitoring now, but I'll just do PZB free to get rid of that. We're heading 2.5 kilometres now. Welcome, by the way, Matt, and thank you for asking whether I was in neutral or not. I hope I wasn't, but you never know. Better pay a little bit of attention to my speed. It is quite the blinding snowstorm. And I have to say, with the new timetable and the new traffic, I didn't really play Colin Arkin very much, but I find that now I do. It's nice to watch trains go through the bridge, but when you've got PZB turned on, I try to limit the time I spend outside so I don't just end up fried by PZB. So hopefully people are looking forward to a new journeys. I'm certainly enjoying it. It's breathed a bit of fresh air into Colinachen, and I should have been paying a little bit more attention then, because this thing brakes like a pig. And at least there's no red signal up at the end, and we might just make it. Might just do it, I think. I reckon the doors are probably still in the platform even. How about that? Should we have a look? Let's see. Yeah, most of them are in the platform. It'll do. It'll do. I can't even blame the chat because no one's really talking to me. That's just me. So just finish loading up, and this time hopefully it'll go nice and smoothly. That would be nice. Off we go to Kolmungersdorf. That's better. Not going too hard on the acceleration simply because it's pretty slippery. It's interesting that my reticle's gone back to the funny little donut thing. I'll take a wander through the 423 on the inside so you can see it at the next station. I'm just going to have to start slowing down because I've got a yellow signal. Need to come down below 80 for the yellow. And I've got 1000 hertz as well. And CIFA. No end of events on the German railways today. So worried about the magnet. What do? Overbrake. That's okay. At least I remember to acknowledge the magnet. That's better than usual. PZB and I don't get on that well. I'm still learning it. Alright, locking the doors. We were going to go for a wander, weren't we? Let's have a quick look inside. Looks like it's got fog inside. It's vaguely cool. And I have no passengers whatsoever, but it's very nicely laid out inside. It's quite a nice machine. The lighting's relatively good. It's interesting that there's fog in here. I suppose it would come in, wouldn't it? When the doors are open and the passengers all got out because they're gone, we don't like this guy's driving. Okay, we have a green. We're still under monitoring. do PZB free to get rid of monitoring because the next signal is green. But until I pass this magnet, I have got a 500 hertz active, so I can't speed up. That will clear momentarily. Okay, 500's gone. And away we go. All clear. Should show if you haven't seen one of my streams before, I'm running my little keyboard box, which is how I manage doors and PZB and the alerter. And I'm being told to stop. It's a good thing I looked up then. It would appear we're being turned around. That's no great surprise because it is kind of part of our scenario. Come on, give it to me. Let's turn our wipers off as well. Off. And having learnt the hard way before, when changing cabs, I actually think this one's okay. You're not actually going to let me do this, are you? Let me take the key. Come on, give me the key. I want the key. I want the key. Hey! Off we go. I shouldn't have bothered going for a walk before. I forgot about this scenario. Let's walk more slowly so you can see it. So this service is now being cancelled by weather, ladies and gentlemen, if there were any. But there aren't. I have noticed in the improved timetable when people should all get out, they do actually seem to, which is quite good. Alright. Headlights. Train lights, even though we know they're on. Reverse it forward. And away we go. Some wipers, lasting, I think. And some instrument lights might be nice too. And back we go into the station. I'll leave the monitoring running this time because it's not going to hurt us at all. We're not going very far, and I don't need to go very fast. If you're not familiar with PZB, when you've got the 70 and the 85 flashing, as they are down there, you need to stay under 45 kilometers an hour. Almost back into the station. I left the windows open up the other end, didn't I? It's going to fill up with snow. Alright. Open doors. Let's get these wind. Hey people. In you get. It's a funny little dance, isn't it? Anyway, we can have a quick look at the outside of the train while we're waiting. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's in a bad mood. Go around him. Seems to be a lot of him today. So I think it's a really nicely modelled unit. I quite like it. Maybe it's time to go, huh? There's no changes to the routes themselves. And away we go. Back where we came from. Welcome to the other people that turned up. If you were in the stream earlier when I had to bail, my apologies. I had a problem with my internet connection and I had to reboot my router. I'm also only streaming in 1080p in case it comes back. I normally stream in 2K, so apologies for the quality drop. Hopefully it looks alright for you. Has anybody got any questions about the new things that have come with the expansion pack? And are you looking forward to getting the expansion pack? Releases on PlayStation in about 3 hours and PC in about 6 hours. Xbox, I'm not actually sure, but I think it's in the time frame of PC. Welcome back to Colin Renfield. How are our people going back there? Hello, people. Well, at least these two look friendlier than the other guy. He's nowhere to be seen. He didn't get on the train. Probably good. Hello, David. Looking forward to it, mainly for the German stuff, but also Bakerloo. I do like the 423, and I really like the new timetable on Colin. It's so many more services. It's almost 200 more services, I think. And they're quite good services, so you'll be surprised to see a few complex ones. Morris, what can you expect? There is this new train, the BR423, that we're driving now. And I'll just... should be safe enough to pop outside and show you. Oh, look at that. Someone from YouTube Creators wants to talk to me. That's nice. So the BR423 has been in the game before. It's come from another route. I'm just making sure I'm not in monitoring before I speed up too much. It drives really, really nicely. It's had some adjustments for this route. It accelerates really well in dry conditions. We're in the snow at the moment, so I'm not going to try and show that off. It brakes kind of like a greasy pig. So you have to watch yourself with the braking. I'm still not quite used to it, to be honest, in how early I have to brake, and you've probably noticed that in my stopping in the stations there. In Bakerloo, there's a new 1972 stock, which is a burnished aluminium. We'll see that shortly. Oops, going a bit quick. Talking too much, not paying attention. That's exactly the same to drive as the other Bakerloo 1972 stock, but it looks a little bit different. It's got a bunch of new scenarios, which I'll have a quick run through those when we go back into the route. And on Sandpatch Grade, there's a new locomotive, the SD40CSXS, which I managed to break when we started the stream, so I haven't had that particular problem persist before. So we'll give it another crack before the end of the stream, and I would hope it will behave better this time. I'm just going to start slowing down because we are in the snow and this thing brakes so beautifully. And I've got a speed to acknowledge. Apologise for talking myself through all the PZB things, but if I don't, I will miss one. Because PZB are like those two guys, and me are like those two guys in the bar that are going, so, mate, do you want to be friends or not? I wasn't sure in the snow if that red signal was for me or not. The maps are actually the same ones that we've always had. They're not new. So Colnarken, Bakerloo and Sandpatch haven't changed in that respect. But this is a DLC called the New Journeys Expansion Pack. Ah, that'll do to stop. We're in the middle. That's enough, isn't it? The PIS on this train does work, so you get the right destinations and you get PIS on the side of the train for where you're going. I haven't looked if there's any screens inside. Let's just have a look. There is up there, but that doesn't look like it's active. Yeah, it doesn't look like the ones inside the train are active, but the ones on the outside work. They have got PIS happening on the platforms, so that's the same as what was on the route before, but it seems to be working. And off we go to Corn HBF, and that'll be the end of this particular scenario. You're looking forward for the update for the Xbox. Hi, Connie. Yes, it has been for a little while, and thank you for the congratulations. I think, the freshest of the ambassadors. Still not quite sure how I managed to do it, to be honest. I sort of said, hey, do you want me to do this? And they went, you alright? Like, wow, okay. So in case you can't tell from what I've been saying, I'm absolutely very, very happy with Colnarken. It's made it a lot more fun for me. And I mentioned earlier, some of you wouldn't have heard because you weren't in here, but I mentioned earlier that I never really played Colnarken very much because to me it just was a bit dead. And now it's fantastic. There's so many services, you see lots of other trains when you're driving. Yep, I didn't acknowledge a magnet, but that's okay. Let's just stop and open the doors. Thank you, PZB. And that's okay, because the scenario is going to finish anyway. And it'll probably... Actually, it won't give me a medal, because I've been here before. Let's see how we did. Probably not very well. You can be quiet now. Cool, and no medal because I've got a gold on this before. So let's pop over to Bakerloo. Now the other trains on Coln haven't really changed very much, but let me just quickly, before we leave the route, show you what there is in here in case you weren't in the stream before. So there is now a second timetable. The original one's still there, so you can complete all your journeys if you want to. And the new one's got 267 services, so that's almost 200 more than we had before. And let's just have a quick look at them. I selected start on foot, didn't I? That wasn't clever. Let's go to a timetable. I've still got start on foot. All right. Don't worry about it. I'm doing something silly. But anyway, there's a whole lot more services, so it's cool. It's going to be fun. Enjoy it. And if we go off to Bakerloo, let's show you the new train there, and we'll go for a drive. we're going to run the scenario. We're going to run the test run scenario. So this is its first run in theory after it's been redone, but let me show the stuff that's in the timetable here. There's 205 things, and this is the new train you get. So there's 2 liveries for the same one is how they've released it. The 205 services are, I think, not that different to what was there before, I don't think. But you get a bunch of new scenarios as well. So you get Test Run, which is take a special set and run it from Stonebridge Park Depot to London Road Depot with 1 stop at Queen's Park. So you're testing the newly refurbished train. There's Rail Tour, and on this one, you might like to think about which one you want me to run, actually, because I don't mind which one it is, really. There's Rail Tour, which is the one that's got the rail fans taking pictures, and Underground Return Ticket, and I think Zone 1's one of the other ones. Yeah, it is. You will see the silver one around the place. So we're running, we're probably running okay for time. We might do, people want to watch Rail Tour, or do you want to see Test Run? Rail Tour will have the people taking pictures if you want to see them. Any preferences? Doesn't look like it. All right, we'll run Test Run, and then we'll get back to Sandpatch Grade and have a second crack at that train that wouldn't quite do the right thing for me before. That's okay. Wouldn't be like me if I couldn't break a train. It's doing the camera work, by the way. I'm going to take this special heritage service to Queen's Park before continuing to London Road Depot. Yeah, let's go. As soon as it lets me actually move, I will. All right, there we go. Let's just turn on those markers so I don't miss one. So you can see the train's fairly nicely weathered. It's got little dints and things in it. A few scratches here and there where it's had the, I'd suggest the original paint scratched off it. Close door. So inside it's pretty much the same train as before, I think. I don't really think they've made a lot of changes in here. So it looks pretty much the same to me. Inside the cab's the same. Got our little switch thing down here. Did I manage to turn that on? I didn't. There we go. That's better. Let's get some windows open. And passenger lights. Gauge lights. Alright, so let's get this round to enter. Why would I want to set it to emergency? I mean, I will, but why would I really want to? Well, it's in emergency now. You can let me do me thing. What if it just doesn't believe the rail driver, maybe? Some things don't. There we go. It just didn't believe the rail driver. I don't understand why you'd want to go to emergency. That's strange. Alright. Now turn on the saloon lights. Fair enough. I've already done that, though. You know? Forwards. Can we go now, tutorial? Yay. Can we go? There's a question. What haven't I done? I'm pretty sure I've done everything. I did put that in down there, didn't I? Yep. Draw key in and it's on, so that should be all right. Oh, I wonder if were the windows interlocked on this crazy thing? Do I remember that? That you can't actually have them open when you drive or something crazy like that? Oh, look at that. Yep. Can't have the windows open when you drive. What kind of crazy train is that? How long have you had the DLC for, if I'm allowed to disclose that? Am I allowed to disclose that? Under the ambassadors thing, a couple of days, but I am in beta, so a little while. Let's just leave it at a little while. That signal right from the start of the game's always been red, but it's actually not. It'd be lovely to get that fixed one day. And we have to stop at this one and ask the signalman, please, please, can I come out? Hello, Londo Spark. Where is this beautiful interlock key you speak of? And welcome. Interlock key? Run back protection, brake twist switch. Is it up here maybe? I would like to be able to open the windows. That would be nice. Doors, door interlock, drop light interlock. Is that it? Let's see if that's it. Can I open the window and drive now? Let's see. No, that doesn't do it. Oh well. If we figure out where it is, someone yell out, tell me. And Londo goes, there's a question. Yes, that certainly is a question. Oh, that's right, because I opened the bloody window, didn't I? Right, let's go. If someone knows where the interlock is, let me know, and I'll drive with the windows open. So it looks pretty cool. I quite like it. It's like it's been redone, but also like it's old, because the roof's all patchy. So it's like they just decided to take the paint off a current service vehicle. And it makes some sense because there's an anniversary for Bakerloo, I believe. What would be really cool is if a real one suddenly appeared. So you think there's 2 drop light interlock switches, one on each side. Well, there certainly is another one. Let's try. Ah, you're a winner, Matt Bug. Nice work, sir. And of course, no one's actually going to get in because I'm not really meant to stop because I'm a special. Okay, doors closing. And away we go. Now we can drive with the windows open. Nicely done. It drives pretty much like the other 72 stock. Slowly. Now, I haven't driven enough services in Bakerloo to get a feel for whether it's particularly different or not. I did quite a lot of driving on Colnarkin just because, well, to be honest, I actually got kind of excited about how alive it felt. So I was enjoying myself too much, and I neglected this one a bit. And I did a bunch of runs on Sandpatch with the SD40. You've probably seen all my tutorials go live by now, because they went live when I was starting to stream the first time when it all failed. It wasn't the game's failure, it was entirely my internet. All those poor people are going, that's a perfectly good train, why can't we get on it? And I slowed down a little early for the 30 zone, I think, but that's alright. So who's looked up there, where there's all that other track? Don't you wish you could drive something up there? I think it'd be fun. Letting gravity slow me down for this 30 zone that's up here somewhere. I like the way the motors cut in and out when you go over the track gaps. Should be able to speed up in a moment. There we go, 45. So I think this is about the cheapest of the things that have come out for all of the DLCs. And for the amount of gameplay you get, I think well worth it. Just for disclosure purposes, yes, I got it for nothing. But I am free to give my opinions. The only restraint that's been put on me as an ambassador is to keep things to myself when I find out about stuff early, and they tell us when we're allowed to talk about it, and also to be constructive if I have criticism. But I am free to criticise. I always thought this bit was a little bit weird in the game. I thought, surely it wouldn't really be like that. And then I watched some cab ride videos and yeah, it's really like this. A little bit more. Open the left side doors. I would have thought the funny thing about that, if you opened up the doors in a station, you would just fill up your train. Because people are so used to getting on when the doors open, they just do. Now what's kind of interesting, is that another one in the shed over there? Let's go have a look. Oh no, it's a standard white one. Time to go down the hole. Ah, so you bought the Caltrain locos as well. The Baby Bullet and the MP15, I think, from memory. Off we go down the hole. With our very effective headlights. No cab lights on. Now, folks, do you want to watch a bit more tunnels? So probably about, what, 14 more minutes of tunnels or so? Because we're not stopping in any of these stations. We're just going straight through. Much to their surprise. Oh, you can put your head out. Or I can flip over to Sandpatch. That sounds like there's a sale on PlayStation David Drives. Is that right? I keep getting tempted to buy it for my son's PS5. Play it up there. I'm sure he'd be amused at me consuming his space. Sorry, people. We don't care about you today. Driving wise, this is the same as it's always been. So if you liked it then, you'll like it now. If you didn't like it then, you won't like it now. At least it looks different. You'd like them to adjust the CIFA for the BR425 on the Xbox. Is it slow to react to your controller Morris, or is it slow to come on? Because I have taken to driving with a controller sometimes to try and understand what that's like. And for some trains it's easier, and for some trains it's harder. The 612, for example, on the New Dresden, it's great for the controller, so it's slow for the controller. Alright. Ah, cool. I like Sherman Hill. On the PC, you have the ability to turn down your grass levels, which improves its frame rate quite a bit. Unfortunately, oops, bit quick, naughty. Unfortunately, you can't really do that on the PlayStation. Oh, really? You've got to push it that much? Wow, that's not cool. I will put that into the contact feedback for you. And David, you get quite a lot of scenarios with the two Caltrain locos, so enjoy those. Do you get the impression I'm going to get there a little bit early? 3.2 miles to go and I've got 11 minutes to get there. Unless they want me to do something else. No, it's just that. We'll have a walk around the outside. Maybe I should stop in the next station and we can walk down the side of the train. I'll do that just so you can have a look at it in the underground's lighting. So I'll confuse everybody and stop in here. And then I'll have a walk down the outside of the train so you can see it in the underground. So I think in the underground lighting it actually looks more like the bare metal that it's meant to represent. I think it looks quite cool. Should I open the doors and let all these people in? Do you reckon they'd get in? They just push you out of the way, don't they? G'day, mate. What do you think? We've made this for you. Yep, just for you. It's pretty cool, isn't it? I think he's just admiring the art. Oh well. Back in the cab. Yeah, door. Door is still disabled. Funnily enough, running without mods. Because I'm not a naughty ambassador. Off we go to London Road. And then we'll go and have a bit of a try at Caltrain. Not Caltrain, sorry. Sandpatch Grade. I won't run the exact same service because that's just asking for trouble. I'll run something else. Or we could go light engine and just terrorise them. Just drive around the network. I always wonder how the drivers in the underground actually cope with the level of light they have with these trains. I look in the Melbourne Underground and you can just see like it's daylight. Both from the in-tunnel lighting and the train headlights. Hello, Withered Bonnie. Withered or with red? With red. And you look like Thomas the Tank Engine. Sounds so lonely in the tunnel, doesn't it? Oh, I think she might have heard her face on my window. It's a steep bit of track, this one. Will there ever be Dutch trains? I don't know. I'd love there to be Australian trains, funnily enough. But I don't know about that either. I kind of hope one day. It would certainly be nice to get more countries in. More disappointed people. I keep kind of thinking that the ads have changed in here, but I'm not 100% sure. What's your favourite Dutch train, Maurice? Hello, people. Bye, people. The flirt. What's the train in the Lucerne video that Rivet put up yesterday? Is that a flirt? I did see Sam stream with the passengers standing on each other's heads. That was kind of funny. Only Sam could make that happen. That was quite funny, Connie. You know, their time estimate wasn't that bad. Except that I wandered around in the station for a little while. I'd love some more overground for Bakerloo. I think that would be awesome. Okay, so that's a different train. Yes, GM. Only a little way to go now to London Road Depot. Ah, so it is a flirt on Luzerne. I kind of thought it was. Never having ridden a European train, it's something I need to do one day. Been on lots of American trains. Been on everything Caltrain runs, except their new electric ones. And vaguely remember this drops to 5 somewhere, so I'm behaving myself. So there you go, Maurice. You'll get a flirt in the game. I was just thinking to myself, I was thinking this train was making a weird sound for an electric train. I realised it's a plane outside. You'd like to see the ICNG for the international train. Looks like a red signal, doesn't it? Is that a red signal, you reckon? It's my phone. Proceed as signals indicate. That looks pretty red to me, but the map says it's green. That looks red. Now, Map says it's green. Let's go. If it's over, it's over. Oh, it's got a shunt signal. Okay. 45 degrees. Perfect. Yeah, from a personal perspective, I'd like to see something from Melbourne Transport, where I live. Or if I can't have Melbourne, I would actually settle for something from New South Wales, because they do have a very interesting train network up there. Now, even though the game doesn't make you do it, I am going to stop here. And it won't do anything. Because in reality, you'd stop here and then someone would tell you which road to go onto. Which I had better actually have a look and see what's set, to be honest. So I want to go there. That one's good, that one's good. Oh, we're all good. We are going straight into the correct road. We out of the tunnel yet? We are. Hello, Roy. How are you? Welcome. It's interesting that it wants me to drive beyond the end of the power lines. Beyond the end of the powered track. I suppose the back of the train would still be picking it up, wouldn't it? Ah, that'll do. All done. Oh, didn't get the last button pushed. How'd we go? No medal. That's because I've done it before. Oh well. Ah, you were on my earlier stream, Roy. The disaster. That was terrible. Absolutely terrible. All right, let's fly off to Sandpatch Grade. And there he is. So we didn't really get a good look at this one before. So you do get some new scenarios. I'm just got to figure out which ones they are that have got the new train in them. There we go. So there's Stripey Rescue, which is perform a switching demonstration for rail fans and head out to rescue a failed train. We might run that one. That sounds like fun. And then there's Earning Your Stripes, where you're building a demonstration freight train to show off the special livery to rail fans at Hindman. That's all out the top of the hill almost. And Eastbound Coal, a freshly loaded coal train needs to be taken down the grade to Cumberland. Well, actually, no, that's not one of the Stripey ones, because look, that's different locos. That's the expensive locos. So I think we might do Stripey Rescue, because it sounds kind of like fun. So let's give that one a crack. And I'm just going to grab a jacket, because it's getting You just wouldn't think it was summer in Melbourne. You really wouldn't. It's actually getting quite cold. It's my own fault, though. I've got the windows open. I suppose I could close them. Good morning. Today you've been tasked with operating this locomotive and then provide switching demonstration for the visiting rail fans. Climb aboard to get started. Excellent. Let's just turn these on so we get the markers. Now before we climb in, let's just have a little wander around. Oops, there's a tank. So to me it looks quite nice. It's just got... It's a special livery, so it's not filthy. But it's not really clean either. I quite like it. Stop going behind the tank. And there's lots of them. So it's not like the Bakerloo one where there's only one, you'll never see another one. In this one there's quite a few. Alright, up we go. Alerter. I just turned on the alerter in there. Do you know, this engine was running when I got in, wasn't it? And they've turned it off so I can start it again. That's funny. $10 That's a long time. Wasn't that long enough? Obviously not. I should learn. Tutorials just do exactly what they say. Yeah, it sounds to me like it's already started, but let's just do what it wants us to do or it'll get sad. And switch you back to run. What about close the door? Should I close the door? You want me to close the door? I can't get in my chair if I don't close the door. Alright then. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was running when we got in, wasn't it? But anyway, it's all good. Set it to freight. Set it to lead. In my disaster stream, I was explaining that those switches would have had to have been on to actually run the loco. Put on some step lights. What about some headlights? Gauge lights. Now I have found with this one, you definitely want to run the HUD, sorry, hub, what? Because, can you notice that the brake pipe on the HUD says 77 pounds, pumping up, but over here it says 90. They don't agree, I've discovered. More often, the brake cylinder one usually does. Alright, out we go. Better do the dinging bell for the rail fans. Just because they're rail fans. Hey look, they turn and follow you. Well, some of them do. Bonus. Alright, let's get rid of the annoying bell. Now I should check where we're going and see if our points are set. Because they're not. Those ones look okay. That one's okay. And those ones are all good. Me speeding in a yard? No, never happens. Here, look. I'm not speeding anymore. Because, man, if you had to go all that way, it'd be very tiresome. And nothing can go wrong, Roy. 600 volts is fine. Won't hurt anything. Couldn't even kill a small child. Or a fly or something. Oh well. There's got lots of people on playback today. I've got 51 on playback and 6 watching live at the moment. Oop, there's our alerter. Actually, that's something I want the HUD on for, to be honest, because the alerter's not very loud and I've found that I miss it sometimes. Climb down and make sure the junctions are set to the correct positions. It's actually going to make me do it, isn't it? Alright. Let's not do what the scenario wants, but do what a real trained person would do, which is make it safe. Kind of guessing it wants this one. Really? You're going to make me walk 400 yards to set a switch. And then walk back again. I didn't know you were an electrical engineer, Roy. How about that? For the rest of you who don't know, Roy and I have worked together for quite a long time. Guessing it wants this one up here, maybe. No. This one. No. It's getting silly now. You know, I can't think of any train driver that's going to walk and go and do this themselves. All right. Well, you know, we're not walking back. All right. Powering up nicely. And thank you, rail driver, for grabbing another notch while I wasn't watching. Always appreciated. Sentiment about the weathering, even up on the top. They're nice and dirty. And the cool thing is the fans don't run till you actually make it hot. Then they do. That's a nice touch. Yeah, I tend to use the map for switches as well because, you know, I'm lazy. The yard looks nice and full now. That's something that's I've noticed it's different. Isn't it funny that we're doing a demonstration for rail fans and they're all the way over there? And if I'm not careful, I'll probably end up demonstrating. That's why I wanted the HUD on, because I didn't hear the alerter then, did you? But if I'm not careful, I'll end up demonstrating how to hit a set of carriages at going too fast. Now, hopefully, I won't repeat what happened last time. Because that wouldn't be fun. Another train over there. Don't worry, the shunting will take care of itself, see? Perfect. We've popped the PCS again, so here's hoping I can get out of it this time. Yep, lights on. Alright. Let's just jiggle him a little, because the rail driver doesn't quite put it back in the right place. And full service should be all I need to do. And then we should be able to reset the PCS. Let's just dump the air and see what that does. Shouldn't have to do that though in this train. See, it's pumping back up happily. But it's not actually releasing the PCS. So we might have to just wait the full minute. Which is a bit sad. So in the meantime, we'll go for a walk. Actually, I might really go for a walk. Right, neutral. Let's just put our independent on full. And hopefully that'll reset while we're gone. Now, that should never actually happen while you're coupling a train. It just shouldn't. What am I stuck on? Well, I'm stuck on some grass. It's funny you get stuck on grass, but you can walk through a bush. But I just think they look nice. It did couple up alright, didn't it? Yep. Be good if the angle cock was open, wouldn't it? Never noticed that before. Are these ones open? No, these ones are closed too. You should be pointing that way to show that they are open. But that's okay. Yeah, while we're here, who can resist? Have to, don't you? Alright, let's go and see if that valve's reset now. Hopefully it has, or this is going to be an awfully short run. No, it has not. I am very sad. Anybody got any suggestions? I can try and put it in emergency for a minute. See what that does. It does, but it hasn't. What happened was I blew the PCS when I coupled up. But I can try and turn the alerter off. Oh, you know what? Look at that. Alright, let's take you out of emergency. Try and be in the chair. Let's leave the alerter off. Because it has now reset. Alright. Now just make sure that it does actually want me to go forwards and not backwards. It does. Good. And where does it want me to go? Down there? No problemo. It's still pumping up the brake pipe after the emergency. That's alright. We'll just drag the carriages with their brakes on. Excuse me. Has an SD40 got enough power to drag a carriage with brakes on? There's a question. So thank you for the question there, Connie, because I don't think the alerter did put the brakes on. It did happen when I coupled. But it may have been the alerter stopping it resetting then. When you can't pump up your brakes, just give it more beans. We can't give it more beans because we'll slip. Let's see what the back of the train's doing. Have we got an EOT? We do. Lovely. 49 pounds. Well, that's not going to move for a little while, is it? Oh, well. Have you met the EOT, folks? Now, look, this ankle cock's the right way. But the ones up there are not. Oh, well. How long do you think I've got till I melt my traction motors? Should I behave myself while it pumps? When will they release? That is the question. Ooh, I think we moved a little bit then. Maybe not. Maybe it's just the grass blowing in the wind or something. We will eventually move. While we're in here, I'll introduce you to the locomotive. So we've got the traditional mechanical speedometer. The alerter up there. The alerter is very, very, very quiet. So if you're using it, make sure you keep the HUD on. Power meter. Brake cylinder for the locomotive. Brake pipe for the train on the red needle and the main reservoir on the white. And you do have dynamic brakes. So I can show you how to use the dynamics if you want. Just while we're here, why not? So set it back to off and wait a few moments. Then set it to B and it'll start to build amps. Once it starts building amps, you can move the throttle lever to use the dynamic brakes. Not sure if I'm actually going fast enough for them to come on, but we'll see. There they go. So you can see it's starting to build some amps now. And you can start using the throttle lever to work the dynamics. And they're holding us quite nicely at 12 mile an hour on this minor grade here. There you go. Now you don't need to watch my tutorial. Now you know how to do it. I'll just take the dynamics off now and it's ready to stop with the normal brake. Glad you're here, Connie. That was quite fortuitous. Little way to go yet. Do you want to hear what its engines sound like? That one? Where are these missed cars? All the way down there. Okay. I think we need to hear its engines run a bit, don't you? You wouldn't normally do this. Come on, I want to get into 8. They sound pretty nice to me. There you go, I made it hot because the fans are running now, look. I had to do that because I wanted to hear them. Now that we don't have the alerter turned on, I can do that. Let's try and get on the stairs. There we go. Now we can pretend to be a shunter. So welcome along to the people who have just joined. We're currently driving the, pop back up the other end, the CSX S for Stripey. On Sandpatch Grade. Yes, Connie, I think Greta Thunberg would be shouting shame on you for that. I've just put so much stuff into the atmosphere that I've made acid rain on a whole small country somewhere. Hello, Shelby. Welcome. How are you? We're currently cruising along with the CSX S on Sandpatch Grade. And we've got our collection of rail fans down there who are watching us apparently. Just doing a little bit of shunting for them. And then apparently we're going to go and rescue a failed train after we've done this. Yeah, saving is a rather... I'm glad I'm in the 3, because that's not open. Saving's not a great thing in this game. I would recommend that basically you don't. But the G6 itself should be okay. Alright, back in the cab. And we've got to wait for that to pump up. We didn't get a PCS pop that time, that's good. That's better. Uncouple vehicles. Alright then. Let's make the train safe so we can get out. Down we go. So we're leaving everything here. Okay. A message has been received that one of the locomotives in a nearby train has failed and now stopped near Cumberland Yard. Instructed to head up the line and bring the train into the yard. Well, okay then. Let's go get it. So we are going back where we came from. And we are set to go all the way up there, so that's fine. In which direction am I trying to go, train? That might work better. Whoops, too many notches. Hopefully I didn't just recouple then. No, it was trying to go that way. Oh, I know what it is. Sometimes when you're using the rail driver, you get stuck. And you can't change the reverser because the throttle's not in exactly the right 0 position. That's what happened there. We're throwing up some more Greta juice into the atmosphere. So apart from the buggy save file, Shelby, how do you find the G6 shunter? I quite like it to mess around with. It's a powerful little thing. Does have a nice horn. I'm hoping all the changes that they've made to this, they'll port back to the Clinchfield version of it at some point. That would be nice. They are... That one's right. That one's right. Now that one's okay. What about down this end? That one's good. That one's not. And that one's not. Next one's okay. Next one's okay. We can probably assume we're pretty safe from there on out, I think. Alright. Back we go. Now we run into that same issue. Let's put the throttle the rest of the way. Now let's try it. That's better. The rail driver implementation still needs a little bit of work. It gets tweaked every time I touch it. So there's definitely positive things happening. Did I need to set that one? I have set that one. It's okay. Yeah, I tend to find that save is... Sometimes it works, but largely doesn't. Especially on the older routes. Like this one. Hey, this is a track with carriages on it. This is no good. I've set some points wrong, haven't I? While that's ramping up, let's just go look at the map. Yeah, that would be where I went wrong. Could have sworn I set that one, but didn't set that one either. Lots of highly professional competency going on here. Hey, look over there. That should be better. You just wanted to hear it rev up again. You meant to run the bell in the yard, but I find it a bit annoying. It is so nice to see a big full yard with lots of stuff in it. For points, we are okay. Still okay till we get down to here. And then this one. And those ones are okay. I have lost my path though, so hopefully the game knows where I'm going still. It's me heading down the wrong track before means I lost my path completely. We'll figure it out. Ah, we're on path again. Depending on where this failed train is, there might be one thing I can show you down here, which will be really cool. I can see a train just down here, so I think I'll slow down. Glad I was up high. We're going to have to take a train out after this because I have to show you something cool. Because you're not going to get to see it because we're not going far enough down here. Hello, dead train. Your ancient brethren have come to save you. Now we've got 4 locos. What does the back of the train on this one say? Oh, you can't get down there because we... That silly bug. Just wait for my brakes to release. This train must have been empty. It's taking a long time. Let's see what the HUD says. 24 pounds. Alright then. Let's just put the indies on. And we'll leave this sitting in notch 1, not powering. And we'll go for a cruise down the line just to see if this is far enough to show you. I think it won't be. Depends how long this train is. Nope. Not long enough. What I wanted to show you, actually you will get one aspect here. See how the grade crossing's not running even though there's a train close? They're now sensitive to where the trains are. It's really cool. They close as you approach them, about when you start honking at the whistle board. £34. We could be here for a little while. Person in the failed train dumped all the air on us. $38. What does the EOT on the back of the train say? How's it going down here? Should have had a look when I was down here before, shouldn't I? Sigh. I'll just go back slowly. Just gobble up some time. Go look at these nice carriages. Almost up to 50 up the front. Getting there, slowly. I appreciate the realism of long brake pump-up times that have come into the game of late. As someone driving a simulator, I like that. As a streamer, I don't, because it means I have to invent entertainment. I was trying to see if the angle cocks on these were right, but I can't even see them. Try and get in and see one. Hasn't got them, actually. Interesting, it doesn't have angle cocks. Oh well. How's our air looking? Well, the air in the cab looks fine, but we know it's not, because the HUD's telling us the truth. Playing the railway game of hurry up and wait. Once we get to 70 pounds up the front, we can probably start dragging on it. Where's some other traffic in this busy Cumberland yard? Oh well. We'll start hauling on it. We'll see how we go. I have a faint suspicion we won't get very far. Got about 4 inches. Should I put on banking com before? Now the others should help. More beans. Too much beans. Oh, there we go. All good. Yes, in theory they do, Connie. In reality, I think in game, no. Normally, if you're trying to charge the brakes, you'd put it in notch 1 or notch 2 with the gen field off and in neutral. But I'm just trying to out-pull brakes that aren't releasing yet, because I'm impatient. At least we get to listen to the horn. Sand does wonders. There we go. Too much. Let's burn all the dinosaurs, just because it sounds good. Sneaky. I'm beginning to wonder if the second unit's actually on. I think I'm doing all the work. Because it's not running its fans and it's not smoking. Hope I've got it going into the right track between these cars. That would be embarrassing. There'd be locomotive bits everywhere. What's 50 yards between friends? 60, 70. It's going a bit quick, wasn't I? That's alright, we get to make more noise again. Pushing it backwards. Or not. Oh well. Train can now be stabled here while repairs are made to the failed locomotive. Your final task is to uncouple the locomotives and deliver them to the workshop so repairs can begin. Cool. Hello, Poorhouse. How are you? Well, the expansion pack's good. I had a slightly disastrous start to my stream, but the expansion pack's great. Oh, I can't go that far. That's annoying. Alright, let's do it from the... Whoops. Do it from the map. That's right. They're all... Yep, one's good. Till we get to here. And this one. That one's good. That one's not. And then that one. Oh, we're going up to the shed. So we're currently pushing a couple of dead SD42s with the Heritage SD40 CSX-S Poorhouse. And the dead SD40s still rudely have their headlights on. Hopefully I set all those switches correctly. Earlier this evening we drove a BR423 on Colinakan, which is the new one. Let's come over to that route. Yes, there are a lot of updates. Colin has got 267 services in the new timetable. The old timetable is still there. There's the BR423, which has a training scenario, and there are 3 other scenarios for it: reverse charge, snowblind, and Duran Duran. And I have to say, Colin Arkin's really come alive now. It always felt a bit dead for me, and now there's so much traffic. It's just really good. And on Bakerloo, I'm not sure if there's timetable adjustments there or not. There could be. I get the impression you get longer time to start getting ready in your loco now, but I'm not 100% on that, so don't quote me on it. I just sort of think that way. And there's a new version of the 1972 stock, which is brushed aluminium with red doors and a black roof, which we looked at before. This route and Bakerloo both have rail fans with cameras that turn up here and there. There's a few of them down here. If you, as we're backing the locos up, you'll see them in the distance down near that shed, all around the cars there. Sandpatch Grade definitely has got some adjustments to its timetables, and it's got this new CSX S. And S stands for Stripe, funnily enough. And that comes with 3 scenarios. We're running Stripey Rescue right now, and then there's Earning Your Stripes and Stars and Stripes. And this is actually my 3rd attempt of streaming for this evening, despite the fact it says take 2. I just reused the stream key. I had a disastrous start caused by my internet hardware. I wasn't able to push out enough data to stream, and it was a little bit sad. It was very frustrating. No worries, Poorhouse. You're welcome. I am also recording this, and I'll probably edit it into a slightly more professional looking video without the boring bits. Looks like we've got some engineers waiting down there to work on the train. Sandpatch has always been pretty smooth for me. I've never really had much in the way of flickery issues here. How close to the doors do you reckon I can get? Should I tempt fate? Should we find out if there's a collision box on the door or not? Well, there is one really cool update on this route in particular. Stable your locomotive here and take a break. Good-o. It's time to shut it down. Didn't quite get it all done. That's okay. The really cool change on this route is the crossing gates. They are awesome. But that's almost 11 PM here, so I'll probably call it quits for tonight. And thank you for the compliment there, Poorhouse. I appreciate it. I'll call it quits there tonight, I think. The professional team are running a stream in about, what is it, 7 hours, about 8 hours time, 8 hours, 15 minutes from now. And they'll be showing some of this stuff as well. But appreciated having you all along. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it was at least amusing and if perhaps informative, if useful. And I'd recommend getting it because this is the cheapest extra gameplay that you're going to find. And it's a very cheap expansion pack. I haven't seen the Australian pricing yet, but the European pricing generally translates fairly favourably here. So I would be expecting in Australian money around the $20 mark, just based on the European pricing and where the exchange rate usually falls. And for that, you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 new scenarios, and you're getting 1, 2, 3 new trains. So that's, for that money, that's pretty good. Now, we saw in the stream that there's a couple of little niggles with the SD40 that I'll put back into my feedback. But the 423 runs impeccably, really good. And the Bakerloo is the Bakerloo. It just runs the way it runs. It's a fun little thing to drive. But anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. Appreciate it. Hope it was good. And 4 hours before you can buy it, Connie. I used to be in your shoes. You have my empathy. You really do. It wouldn't actually be the first time I'd gotten up at 3 o'clock in the morning to have it for an expansion. So I know the feeling. Anyway, thanks very much, folks, and enjoy yourselves. I'll actually be streaming this same pack again on Sunday morning my time, so that's more of an afternoon time for the Northern Hemisphere folks. So if you've got any requests, give me a yell on the forum. Or if you know how to get me out here, that's also fine. Or on Discord. I am on Discord. I've put my key in a couple of streams and got an enormous amount of spam, so I'm not going to do that again. But great to have you around, and hopefully I'll see you on Sunday. And I'll probably see you in the comments, being one of you, on tomorrow morning's Dovetail stream. Alrighty. Oh, and my disclosure statement. I have to say this. I did get this DLC for nothing, if it wasn't obvious. But anyway, see ya. Have fun. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I always like to get your feedback in the form of likes and comments because they help me understand what you want. Give the channel a subscribe and click on the tinkly things so you don't miss out on any new stuff. And thanks for your ongoing support. And please, be safe out there.